Mississippi makes it clear slavery is the issue at hand. They're seceding for slavery. Hello and welcome to a Civil War in Hindsight special, a secession special. I'm Lieutenant Tommy, that's Prospector Johnny, and today we're going to talk about secession because three states back to back decide that they're done with this union.
So this is in addition to our South Carolina secession.
This is addition to South Carolina secession. This is addition to our episode that aired earlier this week. Mm-hmm. It was too much to talk about in one episode because that one ran long anyways. So we're doing a special, secession special.
So who's seceding and why? What's going on here?
Well, it's going to start on January 9th, 1861, when Mississippi, the great state of Mississippi, decides to become the second state to officially secede from the Union. They will hold their convention in Jackson, Mississippi. In the days leading up to the vote of secession, a motion was actually put forward by the Whig Party to try to resolve and settle the issues in the North while maintaining a part of the Union. So the Whig Party in the South said,
so there was a portion of it that was not interested in seceding.
Yes, there was a portion that was not interested in seceding. That first vote by the Whig Party to say, hey, can we just try to work things out instead of seceding? It would fail 78-21. But on January 9th, Mississippi State Convention would vote again on actual secession, and its vote would total 84, we're seceding, to 15 not. And you might wonder, well, what's the discrepancy between the first vote and the second vote? And that was because once people started to seeing that it was going to be a clear majority for secession, a lot of those people who said we shouldn't secede decided to go ahead and change their minds so that maybe they wouldn't get beat up by the larger crowd that was disagreeing with.
They were bullied into voting for secession.
I'm not saying they were bullied into it. They just, once they realized that their vote wasn't going to count, they changed their vote to vote for secession instead of against it.
Well, I'm not saying in several hundred years people will be voting against Hitler, but
maybe
there were people that did and also didn't. And then,
well, we have to get the Hitler not in there somewhere.
I left some dead space there so that we can cut that out. And then
we're good. I'm going to keep it in.
Oh, good. Yeah,
we're going to keep it in. Now, in their ordinance of secession, Mississippi does state that the people of Mississippi consent to forming a federal government of states that have or will secede from the Union. So they've
that federal government of states is the important bit because that's basically what that South Carolina is doing. Like it's going to be that whole everybody's seceding and then we'll
form our own country. Yes. So South Carolina seceded and their ordinance of secession, it doesn't mention anything about any other states. They just were seceding.
Right.
Mississippi's the first one to come along and say, our people agree with the notion that, yes, we're an independent nation, but we will form a federal government with other states that have seceded if they so choose. Now, all the states that will wind up seceding have an ordinance of secession. That's the ordinance that they are voting on.
Yeah.
Some states also choose to have an explanation as to why they are seceding.
So this is a bill going up in front of people and then basically saying this is what the bill means and why and then we're
some
here
states decided, and some states decided to, yes, this is the bill, this is what we voted on, but this is why we voted on it. So some states have that.
Okay, that's a nice little
and most of those articles are the immediate causes of secession, is what most of them refer to it as. Now, I did read part of South Carolina's that did mention slavery multiple times, so I feel it's important to read the first two paragraphs of the Mississippi causes of secession. Their own words, what they wrote, why they seceded from this session, this state convention.
Yeah, so this is basically it's a reasoning. Like if you're going to try to understand why people or why states decided to secede, this is the type of stuff that you have to look into. You have to try to empathize with them, understand where they're coming from, and then make your judgment from there.
Yeah, this is Mississippi's words at the time. I will put the link in the description down below for you to read if you don't.
Well, like this week, right?
Yeah, this is their words. This is their words today. As this airs, if you're watching it on the first day it airs, this is today. This is it. They said, In the momentous step which our state has taken of dissolving its connection with the government of which we so long formed a part, it is but just that we should. Hold on, you gotta bear with me, Johnny.
I'm sorry, you said so long formed part. It's been like 100 years, not even.
Yeah, well, yeah, but
calm down, bud.
Again,
they're getting a little attached. Is all I'm saying.
They're getting a little attached, and I quote: "It's a breakup letter, Johnny. It's a breakup letter." And I quote: "It is but just that we should declare the prominent reasons for which we have induced our course." So
that makes sense. Yeah, the prominent reasons why they're doing it.
And this is the immediate paragraph. I'm not taking anything out of context. This is the immediate paragraph that follows. Our position is thoroughly identified with the institution of slavery, the greatest material interest in the world. Its labor supplies the product. You gotta, damn it, Johnny. Its labor supplies the products which constitutes by far the largest and most important portions of commerce of the earth. These products are peculiar in the climate verging on tropical regions. This is bad. It's not my words. I'm quoting them. And by an imperious law of nature, none but the black race can bear the exposure to the tropical sun. These products have become necessities of the world, and a blow at slavery is a blow at commerce and civilization. That blow has been long aimed at this institution and was a point of reaching its consummation. There was no choice left us but submission to the mandates of abolition or the dissolution of the Union, whose principles had been subverted to the work out our ruin. They made it clear. Mississippi is seceding for slavery to protect the institution of slavery, to protect their ability to keep the black man in bondage.
No. I'm sorry, Tom. I have to stop you there. They do not want permission to keep the black man in bondage. They want permission to keep their property.
Property in bondage, yes.
In bondage. Because they obviously don't see black people as humans.
It then goes on to list 17 points where, and I quote this, it says it being the the abolitionist movement that's trying to destroy.
Yeah, the abolition of slavery. Yeah, the getting rid of it.
It lists 17 facts as to what it did to destroy our institution.
Of slavery.
Of slavery, yes. On January 10th, Florida is going to join suit and become the third state to secede from the Union.
All right, so South Carolina, Mississippi, and then Florida is going to join in with them, which is unexpected. They were part of the ones having the meeting to decide whether.
Yes, and they also have already seized federal property.
Right. Yeah, they went ahead and took a fort.
So their state convention is held at Tallahassee, which. Tallahassee.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, all of Florida, really. Like, pick a city that you're not going to do that after you say the name of it.
But anyways, pick Tallahassee.
Destin?
Tallahassee. Miami. All right. So, anyways, they have their convention held at Tallahassee, and they passed their ordinance 62-7. So, yeah, that's not a surprise there because they've already taken 2 federal forts by force.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Oh, big surprise! They're going to secede.
Yeah, but again, I do think it's important to sit on a moment for how overwhelming the majority was for secession.
Secession, yeah.
Because this was not a up for debate topic. It was that state decided, and same with Mississippi.
Well, and I guess it's
overwhelming majority to secede.
Yeah, but it is also important to note that it wasn't unanimous. None of these votes so far have been unanimous. There has been some opposition to it, which is important to note.
Okay, right, but like the opposition is some dude's toddler screaming in the corner that he doesn't want to go to bed yet on New Year's Eve, and everybody else being like, "Let him stay up." And it was like, "No, 80% no, go to bed." And so it's not really opposition to it, like. Yeah, not unanimous, but 72-6. Is that what it was?
Yeah,
like that's.
Yeah.
Come
it
on.
is. 62-7.
All right. I'm a little auditorily dyslexic.
We're recording
62-7.
Yeah, we're recording this immediately after part 2 of Chancellorsville Battle, so that's why Johnny's already he's a little gone already. But anyways,
I mean, Florida, not that it matters because my retention's shit anyway. But
yeah, it is important. It is important to note that Florida does not publish a declaration of the causes of secession, unlike Mississippi did. Okay. At least not that I could find. If you could find it, great. Let me know. I'd love to read it, but I don't think they did. Instead, they just published their ordinance of secession, which is what they voted on, which is literally just one paragraph that basically says, deuces, we're out.
So like, everyone else has said enough stuff. We don't gotta say anything.
They don't mention.
We like them. Bye.
They don't. It is the most boring paragraph of legal jargon. They don't mention why, how, or what. They just said, yeah, that Constitution thing, we're not doing it anymore. Like,
all right,
so part of it.
So
we're deuces, we're out. We're in our own country.
Yeah. So Florida was basically the state that's like, okay, you go ahead and write the language, whatever it says, don't care. Fine. We just want we're gonna join them, and whatever you want to say it. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just make it happen.
Make it happen. Yep. And to round out this fun little secession special on January 11th, Alabama becomes the 4th state to say, deuces, we're out. The Alabama State Convention is going to be held in Montgomery, Alabama, and their vote passes 61-30.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
all right. I'm sorry. You could have made a whole lot of money on that, as far as like odds go with which state is going to be like the closest. Because I would not have bet that Alabama, although Alabama is, sorry, I'm jumping ahead 100 and however many years, but they are the first Southern state to elect a black senator.
Yeah, so, good.
Which is insane because it's 2020. What the hell? But anyway, cut it out.
Hey, Johnny. Well, I'm not going to cut it out. It's fine. It's in there. It's said. So 61-30. There's actually a lot of northern opposition in Alabama. Northern Alabama opposition to secession.
Right,
Alabama,
not northern folk coming in.
Yeah,
the northern
Alabama
half of Alabama. Yeah,
is anti-secession, and there has actually been talks leading up to this prior to the secession vote. Northern Alabama actually called for its own secession from Alabama if Alabama were to secede.
Oh, could you imagine that? Okay, I know at the time. I know like Tennessee is not seceded yet. Kentucky, like that's above Alabama, and so like. There would have been this little tiny sliver
little pocket
of north
in front of seceding.
So it would have been the United States, and then the Confederacy, and then the United States of Northern Alabama.
It's like the Cherokee
that would have been
Reservation.
Fantastic. Yeah.
This is going to be a great episode.
This used to be all yours, but now you get this.
Anyways, that vote does not go through. They don't agree with that. And
with the northern bit,
with the northern seceding from Alabama.
Right.
Yep. So when the vote of secession actually comes in, a lot of those 30 guys said, "All right, this is important to know for future episodes. State sovereignty, state pride outweighed national pride by a large majority in most average humans' lives at this point in the United States.
Well,
they identified as a Alabamian first and an American second.
Right, and I think an important bit of that is kind of disguised in the name of it was the United States of America. So it was individual states united together. It wasn't Germany,
America,
Spain, England, Canada, where everything. It was a united bit of individual.
Well, one of those countries you mentioned, I don't even know what it is because it doesn't exist yet.
What's that?
I said one of those countries you mentioned, Germany, doesn't even exist yet. So I don't know what you're talking about. Germany, what the hell?
Oh, right,
Germany?
Yeah,
Prussia,
right.
and Hesse. Anyways,
it
so
was those
off topic.
Those
off
individual
topic.
ones.
Yep, off topic. Off topic.
However,
like I said, some of those that initially opposed secession, once they seceded, said, "Look, I'm going to maintain loyalty to my home state, and I'm going to support the move and support my home state. This is where I live. This is what I identify with. I'll support them, even though I don't agree with their move." Maybe,
right.
I lost this election, but I'm not going to pitch a fit about it. Again.
Could you imagine?
Right? No explanation of the causes of secession was given. Again, just like, Florida. But in their ordinance of secession, there are 2 points that do stick out when I read this. First, they wholeheartedly say that secession is the fault of the election of Abraham Lincoln and Hannibal Hamlin, who's the vice president. And they quote...
I'm sorry. Who's our vice president this time?
Hannibal Hamlin.
Okay.
And I quote, a political wrong of so insulting and menacing a character as to justify the people of the state of Alabama in the adoption of prompt and decided measures for their future peace and security. So my point to that is they're blaming the election as a reason why Alabama has to secede because their election of this horrible person, Lincoln, who wants to get rid of slavery is an affront to them, and they got to get rid of it. But if they're really searching for peace and security, maybe don't secede. And then if you are going to secede, maybe don't attack federal forts. But that's another story.
I think you're misunderstanding what they mean by peace and security. It seems to me like they seem to see peace and security as the peace to own other people and the security to not have them taken away.
Right. Now, in their ordinance, they also desire to meet with the people of slaveholding states to form a confederacy of slave states, and they formally invite the states of Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, Florida, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee.
Hold on.
Well, hold on. I got two more. Kentucky and Missouri to meet on February 4th in Mobile, Alabama, to discuss the most effectual mode of securing concerted and harmonious action in whatever measures may be deemed the most desirable for the common peace and security of the South. So they have,
I'm sorry.
Not only did they secede,
1/5 of
the
of these people that they're naming in this Confederacy document or whatever the hell they're called, 1/5 of them seceded. The rest are still part of the Union, and they're like, "Hey, y'all want to join us too?"
Unlike the other states that just seceded.
Yeah, they're like, we're going to secede and also form a completely other country.
They said that we're going to secede, and not only are we going to secede, we're inviting all these states that have slaves, not you non-slaving states. We don't want you to get your dirty asses out of here. But all you states that have slaves, we're inviting you to meet with us to see if you want to join us in forming our own country.
Okay, and so South Carolina seceded with no plan for a country. They're just like, we're now the country of South Carolina. Mississippi did the same.
With a call that said if other states secede, we will talk about
with a little flag up saying anybody interested in also doing our thing, and then Florida,
Florida does nothing. Florida just is like we're seceding, but it's just we seceded.
And then Alabama, Alabama, gone
says we're seceding, and by the way, everybody join us if you have slaves. Come to us on February 4th. So I'm going to round out this special here with three points from these newly seceded states that make three things very, very clear in their own language in either the ordinance of secession or the immediate causes of secession. So either their explanation to why they seceded or their ordinance. These are 3 points they make very clear.
Before you get into that, the reaction or the whole Alabama come join us type deal. How much I don't know if you'll be able to answer this, but how much of that was them knowing that state A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or whatever was
the writing is on
thinking about it, or
the writing is on the wall. I mean, there have been multiple states that have already taken federal property that haven't seceded at this point. We had states last week that were taking federal property without seceding. I mean, the writing's on the wall. They get the pattern. Hey, look, and again,
and so they kind of saw who was potentially going to be affected by
they're basically saying this
slavery.
Election affected. Yeah, they're saying that this election affected every slaveholding state, and so if you're a slaveholding state, they're thinking that you're likely going to join them in secession because we've seceded. We're a slave state. You must secede too.
Gotcha.
Now, the 3 points I raised.
Thank you.
First,
sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, first, this is Mississippi makes it clear 100% about slavery and the protection of the institution of slavery. They make it clear. In their own words, they're referencing slavery. They're referencing slave states coming together and joining together. They're saying that we are bound by the institution of slavery, and we're bound to protect the institution of slavery. They're making it very, very clear.
All right.
They also make it clear, that's point number 2, that the election of Lincoln was so politically damaging because he opposed slavery that we have to leave. Because he's opposing it, we have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And the last point that I have is they have every intent to form a confederation of slaveholding states. This isn't an individual state leaving. This is us leaving and forming our own nation with other states. We are breaking the Union in half.
Not only joining with other states, but joining with other states that will allow slavery.
Yes, no states that didn't allow slavery were invited to this February 4th meeting.
No.
They are
bunch of squares, if you ask me.
Anti-slavists? Anti-slavists?
I don't know if we can go that far.
I don't know. Whatever.
They're at least
anti-slavist. No, not anti-slavist.
Anti-slavery establishment.
No, they're for they are the. No, you know what? They're the slavery establishment. That's what they are.
That's what it is. It's
not... they're the slavery establishment because they're the anti-slavery establishment. So they're the woke slavery establishment.
The woke, though, I think the woke is important because otherwise it's just a slavery establishment, which makes it seem like an establishment that encourages slavery, which was basically the Confederacy and what they wanted to set up.
Yes, in a woke way.
In a very woke way.
All right, guys, that's it for our Secession special of Civil War in Hindsight. One of first many specials that will occur throughout. Just hit that playlist, and it'll play on, and you'll listen to us ramble about the Civil War for as long as you can stand it. And occasionally there'll be a special in there that's outside of the normal weekly episodes. Also, if you like hearing us ramble about random history things, check out our Historic Hindsight podcast. Click on that, hit that playlist, and just let that thing go too. Smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Comment down below about what you want us to do differently or what you don't like or what you like. Tell us you like peanuts. I don't care. YouTube likes it when you interact with us. If you hate us, smash that dislike button. I really don't care.